This program is brought to you by Emory University.
Prometheus has landed.
These are ancient civilizations that were separated by centuries, and yet this same pictogram was discovered in every one of them.
They're smiling.
I think they want us to come and find them.
We're all here because of a map you two kids found in a cave.
Not a map, an invitation.
From whom?
Please tell me you can read that.
Prometheus, are you seeing this?
Whatever that probe is picking up, it's reading life form.
What do you mean a life form?
Big things have small beginnings.
This notion that Prometheus discusses about life outside of our solar system, or at least outside of planet Earth, is one of those things that we've wondered about and told stories about for eons, and we're still telling stories about that. The notion that there could be intelligent beings outside of our solar system is one of the things that we've also imagined. Would they be like us? Would they be something different? Would they be recognizable if we see them? Has led to marvelous stories and marvelous developments in science fiction and in the context of who we are and where we come from and where we're going, is very much of a part of our culture and very much a part of our heritage and very much a part of our future. So the notion of Prometheus, that there is intelligent beings out there. There are engineers, as they describe them, that actually seeded Earth with the same molecular basis that they had, make up our molecular basis, is one of those fables, one of those stories that we imagine. So as we understand the life on planet Earth, and all of our understanding really comes from the scientific study of life on Earth, we understand that all the life that we understand now depends on liquid water. Ironically enough, the liquid water on our planet probably came from extrasolar sources and accumulated on Earth after the planet was forming. So to that extent, Earth was seeded by the water that came from stardust to create the oceans and to create the water that made it possible to create life. So this notion of having our planet seeded by water and by other nutrients, for example, or even building blocks of life, is something that we've known about for a long time. As we start thinking about traveling to and observing other planets, we have the potential to also transmit things that are living on this planet to other planets, which is one of the things that Prometheus is also playing on, the notion that other intelligences came to our planet and seeded it with the materials that gave the potential for life to evolve on this planet. We could be doing the same thing to other planets. We have a history as a species of trying to develop explanations for the world around us, and is probably best represented in the Prometheus myth about where fire came from. Those myths, those stories, are the way we teach each other about how we understand the world around us. And those stories are based on, as I said before, based on the factual information that we have. Those stories also, like science fiction, are also motivators for us trying to understand. We can imagine that something might be on the other side of the universe, but we have no way of looking at the edge of the universe. We can imagine that there may be something on Mars, but we just now have the technology to be able to get there. We can imagine that evolution is a inherent property of matter. And we now know of experiments that we can do to test that hypothesis. And each time, we have a story, a myth, a story. I'm using those terms synonymously. They're ways of making sense out of the world around us from the limited data set that we have. But they're also motivators for designing scientific experiments to try to understand, or different stories to tell to try to understand, or different ways of communicating how we place ourselves in this universe that we inhabit. That's what makes the stories, the science fiction of Prometheus, the stories that we have so important as a mechanism for not only education, but a mechanism for stimulating imagination and stimulating more science and stimulating more understanding. And it's through that understanding that we develop as a culture.
The preceding program is copyrighted by Emory University.